Hello friends. Welcome to T Academy. Let's continue the DFCCIL Executive Electrical paper. In this section, we will discuss about the electronics. In my previous sessions or previous videos, I already discussed the solutions for the electrical machines with the concepts and electrical circuits with the tricks here. So this is a continuation of that series of DFCCIL Electrical Executive paper. Okay, so let's start the questions here. So before going to start the questions here, I would like to ask you to subscribe to my channel, YouTube channel, and share this video with your friends. Okay, let's see here. The questions are, the first question here is, how many diodes are used to construct half wave, full wave, and bridge rectifiers circuits respectively? So first of all, in case of half wave bridge rectifier, here we have is sorry, let me make source here. So it's a sinusoidal source, and there is a diode and resistive load here. So this is nothing but a half wave rectifier. So here the number of diodes are usually is 1. Similarly, in a full wave, so there are full wave, there are two configurations. The first one is a midpoint configuration, and second one is bridge configuration. So in the midpoint configuration, we will use a transformer like this. Like here we'll take a midpoint here, and here we have a some load, and diode is connected like this. Okay, so here the number of diodes are 1 and 2 respectively. And bridge configuration, in the bridge configuration, so this is the bridge. Okay, and here we have the load here, and supply is connected in between these 2 points here like this. Okay, so this is the third configuration in which the diodes are used is 1, 2, 3 and 4. So total here it is a 4, and here it is a 2, and here it is a 1. So answer is 1, 2, 4 is the right answer for this question here. Next one, the second question is from the subject of digital electronics, and it is based on the concept of digital to analog converters. Okay, let's see the question here. If the resolution of a digital to analog converter is approximately 0.4% of its full scale range, then it's it is and dash. So you need to find the which converter it is, which number of converters are here. Okay, so here how many bits we need to calculate. The first one, we will take the formula. Resolution is nothing but it is VFS or VRS divided by 2 power n minus 1. But in the given question here it is what is 0.4% of its full scale range. That means we will write the formula here as 0.4 means 0.4 divided by 100. Then VFS becomes 1 here. Why? Because 0.4 of its VFS means here we can also write VFS. Here also we can write VFS. Both are gets cancelled here, divided by 2 power n. Let me correct here. It's not 2 power n minus 1. So here it is minus 1 here. Okay. Observe the difference here. 2 power n minus 1. So from this, what you can get here is it is 0.4 divided by, let me correct here, it's not 1,000, it's a 100. Okay, is equal to, so 1 divided by 2 power n minus 1. So from this, 2 power n minus 1 will be equal to what? So it is 0.4, right? So 2 power n minus 1 is nothing but 100 divided by 0.4. Okay, if you simplify this one, you'll get the answer as, so it is 250, and 2 power n is nothing but 251. So 251 can be approximately written as in the form of 2's representation. It's nothing but 2 power 8. Okay, so 2 power 8 is nothing but 256. Okay, so this is a range which is possible with the n is equal to 8 here. So answer is it's a 8-bit converter. I will repeat the question here. If the resolution of a digital to analog converter is approximately 0.4%, okay, of its full scale range, then it is n. Here we need to find how many bits, the number of bits we need to calculate here. So for that one, I have taken the formula here. So from that formula, I simplified it. After that, we'll get a 2 power n minus 1 is equal to 250. Okay. So after that, 2 power n is equal to 251. You'll get it. Okay. So what will be the range of n? Sufficient values n is nothing but 8 here. So we'll move to the next question. Next question. It is also from the digital electronics. The product of two binary numbers is 0, 1 and 1, and next number is 1, 1, 0. Then what will be the product here? So first of all, what will take? It take this 0 and I multiply with this 1. After that 1 here. After that 0 here. Okay, so this is the process. So we'll take the first 0. So 0 multiply with 1 means 0. 0 with 1 means 0. And 0 with 0 means we'll get 0. Next, take this number, that is second digit number, and cross multiply with this one. Okay, so here leave one place. 1 into 1 means 1. 1 into 1 means 1. 1 into 0 means 0. Now let's take the third digit here. Okay, so this will be the third digit. So third digit, 1 into 1. So leave one place here. 1 into 1 is 1. Another 1 into 1 means 1. Next one will be 0. So sum up all these values here. So 0, 1, 1 plus 1 means 0, power will be 1. So 1 plus 1 means 0, power will be 1, 1 here. So answer will be 10010. So answer is here 3 is the right answer. Next one. Next question is from the analog electronics and the topic is oscillators. Among the following, which is a fixed frequency oscillators? So here among the options, crystal oscillators is having a fixed frequency oscillator. Okay, it's a fixed frequency oscillator, and here the phase shift oscillator. So the range of frequency will be here. It is from the 1 Hz to 10 megahertz here. And if you talk about Hartley oscillator, it's a ranging of 10 kilohertz to 100 megahertz. And if you're talking about the Colbert oscillator, it's also having the same range as well as 10 kilohertz to 100 megahertz. Okay, among them, crystal oscillator is nothing but a fixed frequency oscillator. Okay, so it is a fixed frequency oscillator with a high quality factor, high Q factor. Okay, remember these points. Next one. The circuit which produces the best stabilization of an operating point. So here the best stabilization is nothing but the voltage divided by bias. The stability formula, approximately stability is nothing but 1 plus it is RB by RE. So base resistance by emitter resistance. Generally RE will be much higher than RB value, so that stability is approximately, stability factor approximately we can define as 1 year. So which is the lowest value. So stability is having lowest value here. Okay, AC is equal to 1 is a lowest value. So that is why the voltage divider bias will have a highest stability. I mean lowest stability means best stabilization. So I repeat the point here. The voltage divider bias will have a lowest value of stability factor S, so that it will have a best stabilization of operating point compared to all other biasing techniques. Next one, the output and input voltages of an emitter follower have a phase difference of. So generally we have three configurations, that is a CB configuration, and second one is, let me take here, and second one is CE configuration, and third one is CC configuration. The other name for the CC configuration is what? Emitter follower. So in which the relationship between the input and output having a phase displacement of 0 degrees. In case of CB configuration, it is also same. The input and output will have a phase difference of 0 degrees. That means if you are giving a input sinusoidal like this to the amplifier, the output also will get a same side like this. So this is happens in case of CE configuration, CC configuration and CB configuration. But in case of CE configuration, it is not true. Suppose if you are giving a sinusoidal waveform like this to an CE amplifier, so here is CE amplifier, the output will be what you get here. It is the output will be, let's say, exactly 180 degrees phase shift. Okay, so remember this point. In your examination, this point may occur here. In CE configuration, there is a phase displacement of 180 degrees, and in case of CB configuration and CC configuration, the phase displacement is 0 degrees here. Okay, next question. A plus AB gives simplified 2, gets simplified 2. So here we have A plus AB. We need to simplify this. Okay, so what you will do is you will make a common A here. So 1 plus B. Okay, so here 1 plus B is nothing but a OR gate. Okay, it's nothing but a OR gate. Okay, so let B value may be a 0 or it may be 1. The resultant will be 1 only. Okay, that means so A will get resultant is 1, means A dot 1 means A only. So answer will be A here. So simply A dot 1 means it's a AND gate. Next one. In a certain transistor, the emitter current IE. So emitter current is 1.04 times that of collector current. And if the emitter current is IE will be what? IE will be 12 milliamperes. Then calculate the base current. So general formula, the basic formula is IE is equal to IB plus IC. Okay, so here IC value we know. What is IC is nothing but 12 milliamperes divided by 1.04. Why? Because from this formula I substitute this value here. Okay, now IE value is what? 12 milliamperes is equal to IB plus 12 milliamperes divided by 1.04. So 12 milliamperes minus 12 milliamperes divided by 1.04 will be your IB value. So it's nothing but it is 0.461 something. We'll get it here. So 19 something. It is in milliamperes. Suppose if you want to convert into microamperes, we'll multiply with 1000 here, so that answer will be 412 microamperes. Okay, so this is the answer for this question here. Next one, state the respective ripple factor and efficiency of a full wave rectifier. So ripple factor is nothing but it is 0.48. I will write the full wave rectifier. I will write for half wave rectifier. So it is a ripple factor, and here we have efficiency. For a full wave rectifier, it is a factor is 0.48 and efficiency is 81.2 percentage. And for a half wave rectifier, ripple factor is 1.21 and efficiency will be 40.6. So one important thing you can observe here, it is simply here the efficiency is half of the full wave rectifier. Okay, full wave rectifier will have 81.2 option. If we divide by 2, approximately get this value. Okay, but don't do that logic here. So it is different from here. Okay, we'll have square root terms here, so that we will not get the half value here. So just I'm giving a trick to you to remember this value. Okay, so it will be 0.48 and 1.21 for a half wave rectifier. These are the dependent values. Keep in your notes, right? Next one. This question is from the digital electronics. The question here it is, state the octal equivalent of hexadecimal number B34162 dash of 8 here. So first of all, what we'll do is we'll convert this hexadecimal value into its decimal value. Okay, so B stands for, A stands for what? 10, B stands for 11, C for 12, D for 13, E for 14, F for 15. Okay, so these are the range. Okay, now first of all I will take the B. So B, what is nothing but B equivalent value is 11 and 3 as it is. I will consider 4, I will take as it is. Now I will write in terms of the equivalent decimal values. How I am going to do binary values. Okay, so binary value means 8, 4 2 1 8 4 2 1 8 4 2 1. So how can I write 4? So I can write as a 4 1 0 0 0 here, and 3 means 0 0 1 1, and finally 11 means it is a 1 0 1 1. Okay, so I will take this group, that is 1 0 1 1 0 0 1 1 0 1 double 0. I will rearrange it in such a way that, okay, into 3 bits. So this will be 1, this will be 1, this will be 1. Okay, now write the equivalent decimal value here. Okay, so it's nothing but 4 to 1. Remember, 4 to 1, so its value is 4, and here it is a 4 to 1 means 4 plus 2 6 here, and here it is only 4, and here it is a 5. So equivalent mm, octal value is, it is 5 4 6 4. So answer will be 3 here. And one of the standard questions in your examination is Zener diodes. So Zener diodes are used as a voltage regulator. It will not use it as an amplifier or oscillator or rectifier. Okay, so Zener diode generally operates in reverse bias operating mode. Next one. State the correct condition for the transistor to operate in a cutoff region. So normally BJT, we can operate in three modes of operation, especially three modes of operation. First one is the cutoff region, saturation region, active region. Okay, so these are the three modes. In cutoff region, so both the junctions should be in reverse bias condition. In active region, any one junction will be in forward bias condition. Saturation means both are in forward bias condition. Okay, yeah, suppose in the given question they asked is in active region means, in active region one emitter to base junction is forward bias and collector to base junction is reverse biased. So see here they asked for cutoff region. So cutoff region means both the junctions should be reverse bias condition here. Okay, suppose for active region, so active region one will be in forward bias, second one will be reverse bias. So this is the active region. Okay, and both are forward bias means it is in saturation region. Okay, saturation region here. So next one, voltage regulation is given by. So voltage regulation is given by, it is a no load voltage minus full load voltage divided by, with respect to, we'll talk about full load voltage. Okay, into percentage means we'll multiply with 100 here. Okay, so no load voltage is always greater than that of full load voltage because of voltage drop. So answer will be V no load minus V full load by V full load into 100%. If they ask about the percentage, generally voltage regulation means no load minus full load by V full load here. Okay, in some textbooks also given, it depends upon the regulation up or regulation down which you are following. Okay, next one, the charge carriers which have greatest mobility are, so greatest mobility are electrons only. So standard question. Okay, greatest mobility are electrons only. Next one, the ideal value of CMRR. So what is the CMRR? CMRR is nothing but it is common mode rejection ratio. So CMRR is nothing but common mode rejection ratio. So which can be defined as CMRR is equal to difference in gain divided by common mode gain. Okay, generally common mode gain will be 0, so that CMRR will be for ideal op amp. So ideal operation amplifier, this will be 0. So CMRR will be what? Infinity. So answer will be infinity here. Next one. State the respective decimal equivalent and hexadecimal equivalent of 65 base 8. So 65 base 8 is here. So we need to convert into its hexadecimal value as well as into its decimal equivalent value. So first of all, I will go for the decimal equivalent value, how I am going to do. So 65, so I will, okay, let me erase this one. Right, so 65 I will write into its binary equivalent form, that is 1 1 0 and 1 0 1, and I will represent in terms of its uh, binary equivalent, that is 2 power 0 into 1 plus 2 power 1 into 0 plus this value, that is 2 power So 2 power 0, 2 power 1, 2 power 2, 2 power 3, 2 power 4, and 2 power 5 here. Okay, so I will erase this part and directly write the answer here. Okay, right. So here I will represent as, so first of all 2 power 5 into 1 plus 2 power 4 into 1 plus 2 power 3 into 0 plus 2 power 2 into 1 plus 2 power 1 into 0 plus 2 power 0 into 1. So its value 2 power 5 into 1 means it is 32, and this one will be 16, and this will be 0, this will be 4, and this will be 0, and here will be 1. So 32 plus 16 means it's a 48. 48 plus 4 means 52. 52 plus 1 means it is equivalent value is 53 here. Okay, so 53. Now I will rearrange the same group here. 1 1 0 1 0 1. So in hexadecimal what I will do is I will take 4 digits at a time. So here I will write extra 2 digits. Now 8 4 2 1 8 4 2 1. Okay, now hexadecimal. So hexadecimal means it will be 1 0. Right, I will add these values here. So 4 plus 1, it's nothing but 5. So 4 5, and here we have 3, so 3 5. So hexadecimal value will be what? Okay, 35. So 53 35 will be the answer. So answer is 16 1. A is the right answer. Next one, the lower and upper cutoff frequencies are also defined as. So if you take the diagram of any frequency with respect to some magnitude here, for example current here, okay, so let's take this point as a half power frequencies. So f1 and f2, lower cutoff frequency and upper cutoff frequency, and here we have resonant frequency. Okay, so these frequencies are also known as half power frequencies. Why? Because here the current is going to be I naught by root 2 times. Okay, suppose if you take a ratio network, P is nothing but I square into R, which is nothing but I naught by root 2 whole square times of R is nothing but I naught square R by 2. So here the current will be I naught by root 2 times. Remember this point here. Okay, similarly these points are known as half power frequencies. Why? Because power will be half at this particular points. Okay, so here it will be maximum means here will be have I naught value. Okay, next one, last question for this electronics paper, right? The binary equivalent of decimal 22 is, so binary equivalent of decimal 22. So what we'll do is, first of all we'll divide the 2 here. So 2 to 11, remainder will be 0, right? Next one 2, let me erase this part. Okay, so 2 5 10, remainder will be 1. 2 2 ja 4, remainder will be 1, and 2 1 0. Okay, so go in this manner. Okay, 1 0 1 1 0. So answer will be what here? 1 0 1 1 0. Okay, thank you friends, thanks for watching my video, and please share with your friends.